Power Ranger fans. This is going to be a fairly quick video. It's impromptu. I literally just got this one. So, quick background. This is a San Diego Comic Con exclusive from 2013. So it's 24 karat gold plated. This one on the left is a original regular Legacy Morpher, but with the Starlight Studios gold plated plates and powering as well. So I just wanted to make a quick comparison because I've got both of them finally. I originally I wanted this one on the right here, but it was way too expensive, and I just didn't have the money at the time. So I went for the standard one because I managed to get that cheap, which is this one on the left hand side. And then I did a lot of googling, and I found out that there was actually a company in America who made the gold plates for them, who stopped, I believe, roughly around 2014, maybe 2015, and I managed to get some off eBay at the time. So it still cost me probably half the price of this one on its own. But saying that, there was a couple of interesting things I've noticed. So hopefully I'm going to try and pick those up on camera here. Let's shine the light a bit lower. So first of all, I'll have to be really careful here. So if you look at this here, so you can appreciate it's got some marks and things like that, partly because it's just been stood as a display piece for a while. I've tried to clean it off as best I can, just without marking this, because that's actually the autograph of Jason David Frank, who I met last year, and I didn't want to put any scuffs on that. But the main reason I actually got the San Diego Comic Con exclusive was because he's coming again this year, and hopefully I'll be able to get that signed and put it away for my collection. But yeah, so looking at the front of this, straight away you can see it's a bit, on camera it looks worse actually, it looks a bit scuffed in places, so around the top. That's probably because of parts of it just the plating process, I think, but some of it is down to the kind of gluing of all these black and red bits. So what happens is, if you're not familiar, you get the plates, they're basically blank, they've got the grooves in them, you get the stickers and you have to stick them in, but the adhesive on the back is so horrible that it starts to peel on the edges. So I've had to make the best of it, and I think that's the best I can do, given just what it is and how it's made. It's not official. So let's have a look at the fancy limited. I don't know what number it is of 1,000. Only 1,000 of these were made. So let's get this in the light. So straight away you can see that generally it's not got the same kind of scuffs, or anywhere near the same kind of scuffs that the previous one has. There are some light imperfections, but this is what happens with plated gold. I think I'd have to lightly polish it if I want to get the best shine off it, which I may try with a bit of autosol or something. But there is something interesting here that is bubbling. So I just took this fresh out of the box, a sealed box, and it's got some paint bubbling there. So I'm not sure if they all have this. If you've got one and yours does or doesn't, please let me know. But I've asked somebody else. Oops, that's slightly marked there, fingerprints wise. I asked somebody I knew just to compare the two, just to see if they could figure out which one was gold, and they actually guessed. So maybe it's just my eye as well. I'm not the best at judging the difference here, but yeah, I mean, it still doesn't look great under light, to be honest. But it's a darker shade of gold on the San Diego Comic Con version versus the standard Starlight Studios plated one. Essentially it's the same Morpher otherwise. The other thing is, you can quite obviously see when you compare the writing, you got these bubbles here, but on this one you don't. It's all, well, it feels, it's got slight It's slightly raised, the writing's slightly raised, but there's no pronounced bubbling like there is on this. And yeah, it's just more authentic on this one. The other thing you'll notice is the power coin, so I was going to get onto that next. So the power coin with the San Diego Comic Con version is actually a lot more dull there. Let's try and get it shining upwards for, don't know if that helps, probably made it worse, versus this one. So this is another Starlight Studios one. You can see I do quite like the shine on this. So to be honest, it's sort of apples and oranges here. It's whichever you prefer. They look very good, both of them. More matte finish or a more shiny plated finish. I have to say that the original one does sit better inside, although like neither of them are going to fall out. But it's just when I put it in, my experience was it clicked and it felt just nice and neat. If I do this carefully. So nothing special there, it's just fitting nice and snug. This is how you get fingerprints on it, unfortunately. So you do have to be really careful with that, and I should probably use gloves. But there you have it. I think there is a difference weight-wise, to be honest. It's very similar. Very similar. I would be surprised if there's much of a difference between them. I would have thought 24 karat gold plating would have been heavier. I'm not sure what this is plated in, but they could be the same, to be honest. I'm not sure. I don't know. But that's an original one. That's a fake one. You know, you be the judge. But there we have it. So if you haven't got one of these and you can get a hold of one of these, you might actually be better off. Personally, I'm going to keep both of them. This one's going in my collection. After it's signed, it's going back in the box, sealed for all eternity. This one's going back on display. I'm not sure how long that signature will last out in the open, but it was signed with the Sharpie, so who knows. And I don't know if I can get any better angles on it with this light. Probably not. So there we have it. Any comments? Let me know, and I'm happy to let you guys know if you got any questions. All right, thanks. Bye bye.